Good morning, everyone. Have a seat, please. So first of all, and I know you would have read it in the announcements, so you'd be expecting to see Ms. Powell this morning in chapel, and you would have seen her as you walked in also. But it's my great pleasure to welcome and to introduce Rebecca Powell, who's going to be our deputy head of school next year. She's come from St. John's Ravencourt in Winnipeg and is really thrilled and excited to be here and is looking forward to meeting the classes and as many of you as possible throughout the day. So please do, if you see us walking around or you see her with an opportune moment, you can come and introduce yourself. Please do so. That would be a really lovely thing to do. But in the meantime, please join me in welcoming Ms. Powell to QMUN. So we'll start today. I've just got a guessing game lined up for you. Okay, so I'm going to read some statements about an individual. This is actually a historical figure, and I'll just pause after each one. And if you think you've got an idea, you can put your hand up and let me know who you think this might be. A young person from a poor background. They found it hard to focus on regular school, preferring instead to focus on individual pursuits. They struggled socially at school and were bullied. At 12 years old, they were expelled from school for fighting. Their mother thought, well, school's obviously not working out, this sort of regular education, so I think maybe they need to train as a farmer. But their uncle thought, actually, we should give this another go. Their uncle was in education, was a teacher, and managed to persuade them to go back to school because they were interested in sort of creating things, engineering, and that type of thing. They continued to ignore conventional curriculum. This one's a dead giveaway. Probably some hands will go up. So working alone, in fact, one more before that. So a professor, I think might have been a friend of the uncle, recognized the talent that this person had and encouraged them and guided them and supported them. And then working alone during the time of the Black Plague, they formulated the 3 laws of motion. Say again? Not Einstein, Matthew. Isaac Newton is correct, yeah. Isaac Newton. So the three Einstein used a lot of Newton's work and built upon that. That was the foundational work for a lot of Einstein's theories, including relativity. So yeah, so those 3 laws of motion that underpin the universal law of gravity. I'll finish this list. When asked to explain why planets orbited the sun elliptically, so not in a perfect circle, but elliptically, he said, I'll get back to you on that. And then invented integration and differentiation to be able to then explain that to other people. He discovered that white light was composed of a spectrum of colors, which baffled artists of that time, who hadn't imagined that would be the case. He then turned 26. And he did this nearly 400 years ago when the population of London in England was smaller than the population of Greater Victoria today. So you can imagine, it just gives you a sense of that time and perhaps what some of those resources and supports available to Isaac Newton at that time would have been. But I go back to the beginning. A young person from a poor background who struggled with regular school and was bullied. And there are many examples of this throughout the world where people grow up through school, probably not anticipating to really do anything special or not recognizing how powerful their voice might become or how they're going to be able to contribute to society. And we're not all going to be Isaac Newton. And that isn't my point. But my point is that along the way, you will have people that hopefully steer you and encourage you. And so you can find those areas of passion, and you can find your own focus on those individual pursuits that are special to you, and so that you can then go out and create the change in the world that you want to be. Today, as you can tell from behind me, we're going to have a presentation from Supriya in a moment, and she's going to speak to you about the QMUN opportunity and Model United Nations as a program. And really one of the magical pieces of a program like that is not only do you get to harness your own individuality, find your own voice, improve your self-awareness, increase your understanding of global affairs, but you also are going to work on your collaborative skills. And when we bring those voices together collectively and you're working towards a common purpose, it's amazing what you can achieve. I read this poem to the girls' rugby team on Monday, and I was doing the privilege of doing a Jersey presentation. I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to leave you with this before I pass over to Supriya, because it really does highlight how, even though sometimes we can feel powerless as individuals, I think on reflection it's worth recognizing how powerful you can be and your voice can be. The Power of One by Ashish Ram. One song can spark a moment, one flower can wake the dream, one tree can start a forest, one bird can herald spring. One smile begins a friendship, one hand clasp lifts a soul, one star can guide a ship at sea, one word can frame the goal. One vote can change a nation, one sunbeam lights a room, one candle wipes out darkness, one laugh will conquer gloom. One step must start each journey, one word must start each prayer, one hope will raise our spirits, one touch can show you care. One voice can speak with wisdom, one heart can know what's true, one life can make the difference you see. It's up to you. Please join me in welcoming Supriya.
Hi everyone, so as Mr. Monroe said, my name is Supriya and I am one of the captains of the Model United Nations team here at the school. So I'm here to talk to you about a really exciting opportunity called QMUN. So QMUN is a beginner's Model United Nations conference. So if you haven't done Model UN before, no worries, it's meant for people who haven't done it before. So yeah. This event is happening on Saturday, May 3rd. It'll be 9 to 3 p.m., so around a typical school day, and it'll be here at the school. So now that you know the details of QMUN, I want to tell you a little bit about what Model UN actually is. So MUN stands for Model United Nations, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a model of the real United Nations. So the United Nations is a group of nations that have the goal of maintaining international peace and security, fostering friendly relations, and promoting international cooperation. So in Model United Nations, it's a simulation of that. So each person would represent a different country and their perspectives on a global issue. So from there, each of the countries will try to discuss and debate about that issue and how they believe we should solve it. So why you should join QMUN? So firstly, it's something new. It's not too much commitment, it's just one day of your life and it's a great opportunity. And as Mr. Monroe mentioned earlier, Model UN is a great way to learn about real world issues and to start making change. Through this, you also get to improve your collaboration skills and improve your public speaking skills. It's also a great opportunity to argue with your friends. So there's also, this opportunity is for grades 6 to 12, so you get to debate with a grade 6 if you want. And yeah, it's lots of fun. So in Model UN, it is serious. You have to talk about serious political topics, but there have been times where I killed Joe Biden and then became the acting president, and people found out I assassinated Joe Biden, and then they assassinated me. So there's lots of fun in it too. Yeah. So if you enjoy QMUN, then there are more experiences to do it in the future. So I know a lot of you are graduating. So in university, there are opportunities to do Model UN as well. And then for the current grade 11s going into grade 12, we have a Model United Nations club at the school. So if you enjoy QMUN, feel free to join that. Ms. Chapman and Ms. Faber lead it, and it's really great. There's also opportunities to travel through Model UN. So we have conferences like QMUN at our school, but there are also ones in Vancouver or New York or Montreal, which previous Model UN members have gone to. Yeah. So if you are interested in QMUN and what it sounds like, there is the website link to register on the screen, or there's also QR codes posted on posters around the school, so it's an easy way for you to register. And yeah, if you want more information about QMUN, you can also go to our website, or feel free to talk to me or my fellow Model UN Captain Clara, who's in grade 12, or talk to Ms. Chapman or Ms. Faber, who are also great resources. And yeah, thank you. If there's any questions, feel free to ask. Yeah.
How does Model UN help my collaboration with others?
Yeah, so a big thing about Model UN is you're not representing your own perspectives. You have to represent the perspectives of your country. So it really helps you just look at things from someone else's perspective and what they think about the world. So that helps you really collaborate with other people a lot more, because you're not just thinking it from one way, you're thinking about it from a multitude of perspectives. Yeah, great question. Anything else? Or
Supriya, there are so many opinions out there, political opinions and different ways that people receive news about what's going on in the world. How would you say Model UN helps in the way people think, or the way they might research or find out news about what's happening in the world, so that they can have a sort of balanced view and maybe create their own opinions as opposed to just taking on other people's?
yeah, great question as well. So especially in the research part of Model UN, if you're the country of Burundi in Model UN, you're not going to research from, you might research from a US government post about Burundi, but you're not going to just completely research from a US website. You'll go to maybe the Burundi's government website. So that really helps you learn about things from the true perspective of other countries. Yeah. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done, Supriya. Anybody that remembers anything knows that I'm a great supporter of Model UN, always have been. It ties in with the essential optimism that I unashamedly talk about. You know, I actually am one of these people, and I hope there are lots more of them out there, that believe in the best of people, and that believe that the best can happen, that people in their true selves are actually good people who are wanting to be good people and wanting to help others. And I believe in a better world in the future and all that. And you need that optimism right now. I believe in a world where we will cooperate, where we will respect each other, where we won't try and bully each other into ridiculous positions, as is going on just now. But I will not go any further into that realm. Model UN is such a valid activity, right? Because again, I've lost count over the years of how many people say to me, well, I could never stand up there, Mr. Robertson, in front of all these people and talk like you do. How do you do that? And I say, well, you just do it through practice. And you start off a little bit unsure of yourself. That's the nature of life. That's like so many things that we do in school and we do in life. We're a little bit unsure of ourselves. We're a little bit afraid, maybe. Like, this is not my comfort zone. What are people going to think of me? I'm going to be embarrassed. Like, I'm going to fail. I'm not going to be any good. All these are the things, that's the self-talk that we all do, right? And we got to get beyond that. We got to start telling ourselves that people are essentially good at heart, and I'm just trying to connect with them. and I'm just trying to be honest, and I'm just trying to be authentic, and I'm not trying to be somebody that I'm not. I'm just trying to be a real person, right? So once you get to that, then you get yourself something to say, something that's worthwhile, and then say it, and just say it honestly. But my point there, I'm touching on all sorts of things, is have the confidence to try things. The number of students over the years who've gone into Model UN, and I've watched them for many years, who've, oh well, no, this is not for me. And then they just get so much fulfillment from it. And then, apropos of the moment, last night I had the great good fortune to be a part of something really special. How many people have seen the show yet? Yeah? Oh wow. Okay. I think you might agree that it's worth seeing. Yeah? And your peers do an absolutely fantastic job of throwing themselves in. When we were doing the reflection around the room as part of the warm-up, I couldn't believe the emotion that was there in the room, and the number of people in the circle that said, like, I haven't done this before. I didn't think I could do this, and then they've just had this kind of stellar experience where they've found the confidence to do it, and they've done it so well, and they've pulled together, and the tightness and supportiveness of this cast is something to be really proud of. It's what people aspire to in sports with teams, and it's just it's a pretty special experience, but it comes again from people opening their minds, being interested in each other, looking out for each other, and trying to help each other, trying to grow together, right? I've used this quote before, but it never tires for me, right? The big mistake that people make is that when you get into a discussion with someone and you've got different views, that it's now a question of winning. Well, it's not a question of winning. It's actually a question of learning, like learning the other perspectives, learning from each other. So the aim of discussion is progress, not victory. The aim of discussion is progress, not victory. That's what Model UN is all about. So let's get behind this, let's support this, and let's commit to believing in ourselves, that we can do anything that we want to do if we put our minds to it. Believe me, over a long period of time, I've watched that again and again and again. Thank you.